Hola and hello. Welcome back. This is the third part to our trilogy, and this is finally Synergy on match 13. So in this match we're going to be explaining what we did right with our team that allowed us to, without comms, effectively communicate with each other and assist each other the entire match. I open with my clusters, since I know I'm going to have to back off and let them charge back up anyways. This gives my team the ability to keep them from getting inside. I'm trying to let them know what I'm doing and what I can and can't help with.
I can't go up, there's a nade. 5 seconds.
Before Wraith even gets fully cracked, she phases out. This is kiting. Kiting is super important in situations where you don't want to get cracked before you decide to escape. You don't want to take that chance of getting knocked or getting lower than you need to be and making them want to push you. As long as you still have shields, it is unlikely that you're going to get fully aped. And if you do, you are able to output enough damage to try to crack them or knock them before they can down you. And by doing this, she got to back off while the pressure was on me. I kept kind of going in and out of cover, and then she got to shoot them in the back.
I'll take that L-star if y'all aren't going to. The building's gonna be safe.
Whenever I hear this team, I immediately do a big wrap so that I'm not taking the same angle as them, right? So another thing that you have to understand with kiting, it is about getting the enemy to split apart from each other, which means that you want to pincer the team and kind of create a wedge shape with your team so that you can surround them or to push through them. And this just makes it where they can't easily have a shot on all of you, making it easier for you to fight them. And then I just throw clusters down, I throw my ult down, I do everything I can to prevent them from being able to aggress us while we're all resetting. As Octane gets a knock and we start aggressing more on this team, I notice the lifeline's going for a res. So I, instead of targeting the lifeline, I target the res, knowing the Wraith is behind the lifeline. This way, the res won't go off, the lifeline will waste her ammo on me trying to make sure that I don't finish off their knocked player, and then she'll have to turn around and try to fight Wraith. And so far, Wraith has hit most of her shots, so I can assume that it will be fine. This ends up winning us the fight, we move forward, and then as we're coming up here to fight, I know that this person is separated from their team and is fighting the Octane. So I ult them so that I can try to look at the other team and kind of like the rest of their team and hold them off from pushing up and aggressing us. So I keep applying pressure as I move around to go and reset while Wraith applies pressure to keep them from pushing up. Then this gives us time to reset and we move up into finishing off this fight. Now, I stop this caustic from getting away, again, at the cost of my own life. I know that I'm going to go down in this situation, and what I need to do is capitalize off of what I've already done. So I target the caustic until I die. Now, I should have been holding the trigger. I should have been tap firing until I'm actually on the caustic, because that was really close. I almost didn't get him down because I was just holding the trigger down out of panic.
I knocked caustic.
But outside of that, it worked out. We got to get a reset off, get all of our loot back, and I'm asking for things like, hey, if there's any nades or ammo, I need this, right? You can request this with your ping system if you don't have a mic, and if you do, just call it out. By saying this, they drop nades for me. And this comes important here in just a minute.
It's not that late. He can get his loot back. Let's go to the artillery. Have you seen any extra nades, arc stars, and shit? Market.
Frag grenade here. Energy ammo here. That's a prezi for Fusey. Arc star here.
Thank you.
Got a clown that away.
Whenever that Loba market went off, just with pings alone. Hey, this is over here. This is what's going on, in case someone didn't notice. I open up the fight with my ult, knowing that it'll create separation and either force them to push off or not be able to push us.
Hard.
I then just spam nades because there's stuff going on in the background and I'm kind of distracted. And this allows me to mostly just kind of keep tossing as I move forward. I get a knock, and I know this guy's ticking on health from my ult. I then capitalize on both knocks, and now we know that there's just a random solo going around.
One fell off. Thank you.
Now here, now that we know that we're in a good position that we're going to be holding for the rest of the match, I start getting out armor swaps so that we don't have to keep repairing our already full red evos, and we can focus on just leveling up these purple ones. And in case we do get cracked and they try to push us, we have the ability to easily and quickly reset. A lot of people underestimate how important this is. And though, yeah, you can run to a death box real quick and do it, it's even better if the armors are relocated to a closer position to where you're already going to be at. But even more so, it is so much faster to do it from outside of the box than whenever you're having to go into a loot box and try to go grab the armor.
Right there. Have you seen any more nades?
Now, I notice a lot of teams do this, where they get overly confident in aggressing teams in later stages of the match. They think that because they got a crack or because they got a knock that you need to push. And though in early game this is important, in later game you actually don't want to do this all the time. It's very situational on if you want to aggress a team that you've got a knock on or a crack on or multiple cracks versus hold and wait it out. Now the reason for this is like right now. We have a strong position, but if we were to aggress this, probably a duo, if I'm not mistaken, in that building, and we, say, got a knock on our team, like, you know, we ended up killing them, but we got a knock or two on our team, and this other team from up top pushes us, we don't have enough time to reset, and that's risking too much. We also know that by how Ring's going to move, it's going to force them out of that building before we have to move anyway.
I think I took it too late.
This makes it where we can just let them move, and the two teams, us and the enemy team behind them, can pincer this team in the middle.
I stuck that one.
Now, when we go to fly out, I call out to the Wraith,
I'm getting an ulti Excel.
I took the balloon late, you're going to need to use your phase. Now, whether the Wraith was going to do this or not, maybe. But sometimes letting your teammates know if you are thinking of something that they can do ahead of time can be very helpful. Again.
Oh shit, right there.
Right here, the Wraith uses kiting. She immediately, before even getting cracked, she was full health. But because of the situation she was in, she was very vulnerable to taking a lot of damage. So instead of risking it and trying to run away or trying to output damage, she came back and reset. It's not always worth taking the damage in the first place, even if you could afford it.
Slow healing. I ticked right here.
And each of us, even when we're taking wide swings, notice how far apart we are. None of us are committing. And all of us have the ability to move back, right? We have the ability to go to cover and block line of sight. The second I get cracked,
on my ult.
or almost am cracked, I start moving back. Once I do, I let them know, hey, I'm going to pop it back, and then pop my ult.
If we can try to delay just a little bit longer. 90. I'm popping my bat. By the time my bat's off, I'll have my ult.
This ult traps them. Doesn't necessarily have to do damage, just that scan effect and making it where they can't run away makes it where we know we have the ability to easily aggress. Towards the end here, I knew that they're fighting another team, and I thought they were fighting a solo, and I was fighting a solo, which I was, but there was a guy they could have rezzed down here. I then go for an armor swap, which kind of fucks me over, end up getting knocked, but because the Octane got to kill the other team, and while this Horizon is trying to finish me off and armor swap off me, it gives them the chance to reset. And once he's gotten the res off on the Wraith, he pushes down to prevent her from resetting more than she already has. Wraith is healing. Octane keeps the aggression up, not letting them fully reset, and by then, she's in front of the Wraith again, and so they can both target them. This is why kiting and playing off of your team is so important. You can't rely on comms to do this, but if you can just do it naturally by watching what your team is doing and knowing how to pull and push, depending on the situation, you can win games
I went to Armor
and
Swap, it
do
broke
very
and
well,
got
even
railed.
without comms.
Nice. 20. Oh my god, dude. A fucking 20 bomb, too. That's dope.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please
GG.
leave a like, and if you didn't, leave a dislike. If you learned something, or you have suggestions for future content, please let me know in the comment section below.